53.4, 61.7. Same coding benchmark, and the bigger number is not Claude Opus. It belongs to a Chinese model that costs $0 per token and runs on a computer you can actually buy. 1.3 million people downloaded it in the last 30 days. So the headline is true. China gave away a model that beats Opus. Then I opened the table those numbers came from, and one of the tests it wins is named after Qwen. So, worth the hype? Let us go through the receipts. Here is what actually shipped. On August 13th, Alibaba published the weights for Qwen 3.8 Max, 2.4 trillion parameters, on Hugging Face. The next day, the small one arrived. Qwen 3.8 27B, under Apache 2.0. Free. Commercial use included, no strings. Subscribe because every week I take one hype tech story and read the primary source instead of the headline about it. Now, the 27B is the one that matters to you because it is the one that fits on real hardware. 55.6 gigabytes of weights across 18 shards, 262,000 tokens of context, and a vision encoder that nobody had promised. And the real part is genuinely real. Open the model card right now, and the counter says 1.3 million downloads in the last 30 days. That is people pulling 55 gigabytes onto their own drives. Apache 2.0 means you can ship a product on it, and Alibaba nothing. It runs offline, so nothing you type leave your building. And the money is not close. Qwen's own Max API charges $2 per million tokens in and $6 per million out. The 27B charges 0 forever on hardware you already own. Then there's the number from the hook. On QwenSWEBench Pro, the model card puts the 27B at 61.7 against 53.4 for Opus 4.6 Max. So I read the rest of that table. 13 text benchmarks, same page. The 27B beats Opus on 5 of them. It also loses 4. Terminal bench, Opus wins 78.2 to 73. In L2 repo, Opus wins. GPQA Diamond, Opus wins. And on humanity's last exam, the hardest test on the list, it is not close. Opus 40, Qwen 30.8. Now read the names of the ones it does win. QwenSWEBench Pro, fair enough. Live Code Bench, fair enough. And then this, QwenSWEBench, 79 to 63.8, on a benchmark named after the company that published the table. That is not fraud. Every lab benchmarks itself. But no independent lab has rerun any of it. That is Qwen's homework, graded by Qwen. And there's a second thing the coverage flattened. Everybody wrote that China gave away a max class model. What actually went up is called Qwen 3.8, 2.4T, a 95B, and it is not the max you pay for. The downloadable one is text only, with thinking mode forced on and 256,000 tokens of context. The max behind the API adds vision, adds a non-thinking mode, and defaults to 1 million. Same name, different product. The license is split too. The 27B is Apache. The big one carries Qwen's own license, with attribution required above 100 million monthly users. And on the aggregate boards, the max does not even lead its own country. Bench LM has QwenSWEBench 3 at 80.5 and Qwen Max at 79.9. Check today. QwenSWEBench 3 is the model in that video right there, and it is still in front. So, worth the hype? 2 claims, 2 verdicts. Claim 1. China put real open weights in the open. They run on your own hardware. They cost nothing per token, and on parts of a coding benchmark, they beat a frontier paid model. That is real. Apache 2.0, 1.3 million downloads, about 16 gigabytes at 4-bit. Buy. And buy here means download it tonight, because the price is 0 and the risk is some disk space. Claim 2. That this is now the best model on Earth, and it is free. That is the hype. The scoreboard is Qwen's own. One of the wins is a Qwen-branded test. Opus still takes humanity's last exam by 9 points. The max you download is a stripped version of the max you rent, and even among Chinese models it sits second. So if you were about to cancel a paid API on the strength of that table, wait. Every week, I take one hyped tech story and check it against the primary sources. Subscribe. The next one is already loading.